And welcome back to the Market Wolf, where I give you the best bear case, the best bull case, and I give you my opinion. I want to show you something here on my YouTube page under the community section. Last night, I pointed out a potential move on Bitcoin, and if you're leverage trading, this could have been a very big deal. And so you need to pay attention to the community section. Bitcoin is going to break support and go down to 29,000. Of course, that was 29,194 if you saw that there. And on the move on Bitcoin, not long after that last night, it broke and it broke down big. I'm going to show you that right now on, well, first of all, this is the DXY. You can see we hit that orange fib circle perfectly, but I want to show you on Bitcoin. And what I also want to say is I'm considering opening up a Telegram channel where we talk about these trades, and I may only cut a episode of Market Wolf maybe 2-3 times a week, because honestly at this point, being able to discuss these ideas with me, I should be able to make a little bit of money doing that. And so if you look here at Bitcoin, that was a huge opportunity to make a leverage trade. Of course, I am not your financial advisor. That's why I said, is it going to hold support? I'm asking you the question, okay? I knew that there was no way that was going to hold support. So I'm spending a lot of my time making these videos to help out my viewers, and those of you that are returning subscribers, I would greatly appreciate it. I see, on average around 30 views. I would sure appreciate a thumb up on every one of those, and I would sure appreciate a share, because that's the only way this channel can grow, and I can help people make money. And so through learning the charts, essentially. I'm not going to ever tell you, get into this trade and get out here, set your stop loss here. This is certainly going to happen, but we can watch the charts and listen to the charts together. And so, I'm considering setting up a Telegram group. Let me know if that would be something you're interested in. I'm trying to determine if this is a waste of my time or not, because honestly, I'm not going to set up on TikTok. I'm not going to set up on a ton of social media. I just don't do that. That's not my thing. So if you're not sharing, this really isn't going anywhere anytime fast. So that's what's happening. And I would look at Bitcoin just right now, and I would say that, we're obviously on a bear flag here. And it's not looking great, to be honest, although the exiting volume is turning down. I'm not sure that we're going to get a bounce here, because I think momentum to the downside is about to pick up again. I wouldn't be surprised if we made our way down to the 28,492 on Bitcoin in the coming hours. We would have to see a significant change with volume to the upside. The one good thing is that the MACD does seem to, we at least still have price, even though momentum to the upside isn't great. We're still above average on the price, but on the RSI, we're kind of turning down below the average. That's a divergence there, but we're still on a bearish divergence on the EMA lines. So, it's looking like a 50-50 shot right now, whether we get a bounce back up to the 30,061 and try and hold that. But we'll see what happens. I suspect, my opinion there is that we're likely coming down to the 28,492. And the reason I say that is because if we look at the DXY, and of course this also holds true for the S&P 500, which we'll look at momentarily. When you look at the DXY, of course we've been chopping around inside that symmetrical triangle that I told you to keep an eye on. And right now we're sitting at the top side underneath the support on the symmetrical triangle, trying to get above that. And based on what I'm seeing here with the RSI on the 30-minute, what I'm seeing as momentum winds down is that we are going to try and make a move here. You can see we hit this Fibonacci circle perfectly, the orange circle, right on the money. We're riding it up. and I think we're going to have a go at this. I think the dollar could potentially try and complete that cup again just above the 102.140. It could have a major move up to the 102.301. If we really get bullish and crazy, you're talking about over the long term here, and we're talking about a couple days, possibly working our way up to the 102.667. Now, I'm not saying that that couldn't happen all at once and we could have a major just bleed out on Bitcoin as that happens. That's a possibility. You could complete that larger cup at the 102.667 on the dollar. If that happens, you know that on the S&P 500 tomorrow, we're going to have a major gap down. We had a gap down to start off this morning, but it's like I said, and that correlates with the upside of the dollar there. But it's like I said, we're going to continue to chop around these upper channels. And what I've done here is I've highlighted for you a couple of other triangles within this large green symmetrical triangle that we're in. If you want to see the other episodes, go back and look at that. I show that to you. But we've got this white symmetrical triangle we're inside of right now, and a light blue triangle, and also a darker blue triangle there. Those represent the support areas of these three triangles. So you fall out of one, you pop into another. It makes sense because you've got the US dollar chopping back and forth so much. And like I told you, we were going to stay up here at these levels today. Now we still have roughly 22 more minutes here before market close. I don't expect anything drastic to happen here on the dollar. That's why I'm cutting the video right now, or excuse me, the S&P 500 or the dollar. It just looks to me like we're probably going to head down to the 412.93 and find support there, and that might be where we end the day. We might be flagging down a little bit or up a little bit after that. It just depends, although I suspect down. RSI is pointed down on a 30-minute. We're winding down on MACD. And the EMA lines, though they tried to get a little bit of a bullish divergence here, they're still tangled up, and I expect that 20-day to head back down. But we're definitely tightening in this dark blue triangle. So, you know, possibly a major move coming from the dollar in the S&P 500 soon if that first triangle doesn't completely fail and get invalidated. If it does, then we've got the light blue, and then of course we have the white base. And then over the very long term, we've got that large green symmetrical triangle. So as far as tomorrow goes, based on what I'm seeing here and what I'm thinking on the dollar, I think we could get a gap down to either 410.10 or roughly, now I say gap down, but I mean an initial gap down and then moves down. So we could make it all the way back down to 410.10 or around 411.47 on average, somewhere in there. I think that's a possibility. And then you would see us potentially bounce back up. The thing to eyeball is going to be the dollar. It's tough for me to have an opinion right now because I see these things in the moment sometimes, and we're just so coiled up and everything's so tight, and we have so many symmetricals running on so many different time frames, and also trying to keep in mind what's going on with the dollar and everything else. This can get very complex, and I think that's another good reason that a Telegram group would be a nice thing to have. So if you'd be interested in subscribing to a Telegram group and paying to be a part of that group to participate in discussion there about the market throughout the day, let me know in the comments section if that's something you want, and I'll certainly consider that. And we could maybe talk about some prices that might be reasonable. But yeah, we're riding up on this fib circle quite nicely here, and could we get rejected there? Sure, it's a possibility we get rejected and head back down to the base of that symmetrical. And I almost feel like more than likely there is a larger, I just get the sense, let me go out to the 1 day on the dollar. I want to see if we've got, so there's that large white symmetrical we've been in. I feel as if, and yes, I think I'm right, there is a larger symmetrical here that probably correlates with the S&P 500. So let's get that plotted out right now on daily. And I'm actually going to move to the lower time frames so I can get a better idea of what this is looking like. Let's take it to the 2 hour and have a look-see there at this, at what we need to do to line this up a little bit better. So this is kind of the, this one symmetrical, the white symmetrical I've had up is it's an upper symmetrical inside of a larger symmetrical that's playing out here. So yeah, right about there. And then let me bring this down. And then let's go ahead and change that to blue as well. This will be kind of a larger case here. I'm going to change this color as well to a darker blue there as well. And so then you can also see this white symmetrical we've been operating in. Let's just refine this a little bit while we're here. Now, it's important to see where this went through. So I'm going to that was my top side. Yeah. Okay. So that's good enough. And so that way we see what's happening here. So we're actually, the dollar it's interesting that this large blue symmetrical also correlates with this fib circle. And then, you don't have much breakaway from that point of the fib circle continuing out to the base of that white symmetrical triangle. So there's a big move coming here, that's for sure. We might get a nice rebound up to complete a little bit of a larger cup. But, and is it a breakout? Could it be an official breakout? If you look at this, it looks like it could be building a W reversal. Now, I haven't heard anything on the long term that makes me think that this W reversal, even if it breaks out and we get all the way to the 102.983, or even if we get higher and complete a higher cup at around the 103.406, that this isn't going to spill out and bring us back down eventually into this lower channel here. And then this we have to keep an eye on this play by play, but this could break down into this lower channel out of these symmetricals. So this is a pivotal moment here that you want to keep an eye on with the DXY. And then when DXY shuts down tonight, watch Bitcoin, because Bitcoin's going to clue you in on how the S&P 500 and the dollar might be moving even though they're closed. So definitely looks like a W reversal. If it gets top side of this, be watching, because once it breaks the roughly 102.223 on the dollar, it will have failed. So that's something to pay attention to. As we're coming out of this descending channel in the dollar, is this really a breakout moment? We'll have to see. Then I'm going to wrap this up with a little bit of H-bar. Yep. So, and you can see, H-bar had a bleed out of that symmetrical right when it crossed these. You see how everything correlates so well? Do you see the just confluency of all of this? And it right on these fib lines, the blue fib line and the orange fib line, we have a breakdown. Now, if the dollar breaks down, H-bar is likely, and Bitcoin's likely to have a ride up, and H-bar would ride this up. But Bitcoin wasn't looking too good earlier. But, keep an eye on these levels. If you want to join a Telegram group, and we can talk about this intraday and throughout the day, that's something we can do. Let me know in the comments section. I'll see you next time on The Market Wolf.